or a GK sense teaches us what to think, but never how to think. Well, what's the difference? What to think is, you are not supposed to have jealousy, you're not supposed to be sad, you're not supposed to have stress, you're not supposed to have sexual urges. What happens when you're only taught what to think? The next time you have jealousy, you are likely to suppress us and behave in acceptable ways. This is very important. What to think is important because it maintains social balance. It hulls antisocial behavior, then it has a downside too. When you're not taught how to think, what happens is that you lose your individual peace. You are constantly losing yourself in the battle to be all the acceptable things. Now, let's take an example, a real life example. There's this guy who came to me. He said that he was not coming to the problem at all. He's giving a big build up saying that, nobody can save me. I don't think, oh, I'm doomed, I'm so what. He took me quite a while and I talked to him and get his problem out. He slowly started telling, my problem is sexual psychological obsession with lust. I have the tremendous sexual need and no matter what I do, I'm not able to control. Imagine how bad should I be. I slowly started working with him. As I worked with him more and more, we established that thought pattern. He began to tell me, as long as I was in India, I do have this problem. Once I went to the West, I saw this women cloth not properly. That's when I think I have the problem. I said, no, let's not even go into that. Let's explore why you feel what you feel. And slowly the pattern emerged. This guy was living in extreme fear. Why was he in fear? He felt the ghost was too much higher standard for his intellectual level. He felt the Europeans might be performance much better than himself. In other words, he spent a majority of his time in fear. Now, there is a strange relationship between fear and lust. This experiment, it's very interesting. Group of researchers, they took a snake colony and they counted the number of snakes that colony. After some time, they killed the few snakes. After a few months, they went in, they counted the number of snakes. Now, logically, the number of snakes that community should be lesser. But here, they found geometric increase the number of snakes population itself. Logically, the snakes population should have gone down, but it has gone much above the usual level. Now, what's the difference? We, the biological organism, are programmed to reproduce when there is fear. Typically, imagine a community before 3000 years, we are faced with so much of threat, the population is small. At that time, whenever there is a threat, the human organism is programmed to reproduce. Now, we no more have physical challenges, but there are psychological challenges. And every time the psychological challenge comes, the brain doesn't differentiate whether it's a physical challenge or a psychological challenge. It goes into the same program of triggering reproductive thoughts. Now, this research, this knowledge about the way his brain functioned, there is a great difference to this guy. He understood how to think about his lust. It's not about what to think about his lust. It's about how to think about his lust. And he was able to find out alternate ways to deal with the way he thought about his friends with the situation that he was facing. Now, you, the viewer, you could be very successful. You are looking at career in abroad. You are looking at different life situation. You are looking at marriage. But my humble request for you would be to invest your time in knowing about yourself and explore your blind spots in equipping, in learning this great art of how to think.